There is nothing quite like getting back from a trip away to see that new Axe-Fx firmware has dropped, so we're going to take a look at some of the new features in firmware 27.02 today, and I want to start with the integral pre-drive type. It is a model of the highly sought-after TC Electronics integrated preamp, as made famous by the band Meshuggah, and the integrated pre could not only provide a massive boost to your signal, but you could use the bass and treble controls on there as active EQ controls between your guitar and your amp to really sculpt your guitar sound. So if you're using guitars that are tuned down or extended range guitars, you can cut a whole lot of bass out of the signal while still boosting everything up. So I'm going to start out with this Recto 1 red model on here, and I'll show you the classic TC integrated pre thing, which is basically crank the level, turn the bass all the way down, and bring the treble up to taste. This is a chillier Bell Aurora on the bridge pickup. You can essentially take the loosest sounding high gain amp and turn it into a tight chug beast. And this is with a semi-hollow guitar with relatively vintage output pickups as well. It also works really well as a tonal enhancer or clean boost into a cleaner amp. So I'm going to go to the single coil mode on this guitar on the neck pickup. We'll hear the band commander very clean, and we'll go to channel B. I'll use the integral pre, and I'll just kind of use it as a clean boost. I've also got a video with a real integrated preamp on my channel, which I'll link in the video description if you want some tips and tricks to use this model of the, it's not even really a pedal because it doesn't have a foot switch on it, a model of the integrated preamp. There you go. Let's go to the delay block now, because the sweep delay has had some new additions to the actual sweep and the filters in there. You've now got a band pass, high pass, and low pass filter. Fairly easy to adjust the start and stop frequency as well as the resonance on there. So what I'm going to do is basically just set this up. 500 milliseconds of delay. I've turned the master feedback up over here. Lots of mix. We'll have a listen to the sweep at the stock settings. Then I'm going to switch it over to a resonant low pass filter, which I really like the sound of with this kind of sweep delay. You can do that kind of swept delay from the old Line 6 DL4 and Echo Pro on here if you're into that kind of thing, all within this block. On the topic of filter sweeps, there's also been some more improvements to the touch wire type in the filter block. This is the one that you want to use if you want to get those U2 mysterious ways sounds. I covered this on a G66 Tuesday tone tip video that I did recently. You can see the settings on there at the moment. We'll hear that, but then we'll just go over to more of a classic envelope filter Neutron style sound at it. And last but certainly not least, in the multitap delay block, you can now change the underlying algorithm without having to change the type. So if you've dialed in a particular delay sound, say with the quad parallel delay, and you want to hear what it would sound like with the quad tape delay or the quad tap delay instead, you can do that without having to change all your finely tuned settings on here. Speaking of which, I've got a lead delay with some chorusing on here that I have dialed in. I've turned the little chorus delay taps off for now. I'm using the quad parallel delay. So essentially the delays are all going to be discrete. They're not going to interact with one another. But then I'll switch it over to the quad tap, the quad series, and the quad tape, and you will hear a different feedback behavior out of all of those. So if you're a delay nerd like me and you love the multitap delay, you're going to get a big kick out of this. I'm boosting the Brit 800 2203 high with that integral pre. Let's have a listen to it. So a very quick example there, you could hear that with the quad parallel delay, your delay taps are not interacting, and then with the quad series, quad tape, and quad tap, after those initial repeats, the feedback structure is different. So even if you don't have all four of the delays activated, they're going to interact with one another, which I think is really interesting. So if I come over to delay 1 and 2 and add my very short delays that have some chorus on them, this should be even more pronounced. Let's just hear the difference between quad parallel and then quad tap delay on there. I've got to play the thing. I also really like this with the Aurora delay as well. If you take the quad parallel delay, then you change it to the quad series delay or the quad diffuser in there. Very interesting. Let's hear the stock Aurora. Or if you're into, say, doing a 1210 style chorus in here, that also uses the quad parallel delay algorithm, but I think it sounds really cool changing it again to the quad series delay. Some very satisfying additions in this firmware. If you've got any other questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, there's links to the music that I make with my band Ragdoll and my Patreon in the video description. I've switched over to my main live preset. Normally I'm using the FAS Stealth Blue with a bit of a kick from the CC boost in the amp block. I'm going to use the integral pre in front of it, and then my lead delay, I'm usually using the quad parallel delay. I'm going to swap that over to, I don't know, the quad tape or something different, just so you can hear these subtle differences in there. I love having this level of control in here for doing comparisons and dialing in sound, so I massively appreciate that. I should mention as well, these settings with basically the bass all the way down, the treble quite a way up, and the level control on there. That's the Fort and Grind. The Fort and Grind is an integrated preamp without the bass and treble control exposed to the user. They've just preset those at the so-called Meshuggah settings, and you get a lovely one knob boost. You can use the filter block set as a tilt EQ in there if you want to do that, or you can use the grinder boost in the amp block if you don't want to do that. But as we've seen, the integral pre can do a lot of other things than just the super tight gent style thing. Anyway, I'm going to do what I said before. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.